Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my asbestos power team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Hi, welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. My name's Neil Munro.
I'm Ian Stone. Today we're going to be talking about AIMS. Yeah, what is AIMS? What does it mean? Well, for us, it's Asbestos In Material Scheme, which sounds boring as hell. Our laboratory hate it. The lab analysts absolutely hate it, but it's a necessity.
Yes, it's a scheme operated by the HC Testing and Monitoring Department, who oversee the kind of management and registration of members. And it's basically asbestos samples that are sent out to UKAS accredited labs to basically assess and test that the labs are performing to how they should be.
Yeah, it's like a quality control. So our asbestos laboratory, we analyse samples for clients. Clients bring them in, our surveyors bring samples in, and we undertake what's known in the industry as bulk sample analysis. So what we do for that is we inspect the material initially under a stereo microscope, and we're basically looking for anything that looks like a asbestiform fibre. And if we do come across fibres that look like asbestos, then we mount them in refractive index liquids. That's basically a liquid that's got a certain refractive indice of light. And then we basically use another microscope, a polarising light microscope. And there's various steps that we go through, pulling all knobs, twizzles, buttons, etc.
Can you name them?
No, not anymore. Not off the top of my head.
No.
So yeah, basically we follow all these process, and only when we've followed that process for that fibre, if it does exhibit all of those details, then basically that's at the point where we say, right, that is 100% asbestos, or no, it's not asbestos. And that's what we do for all the different fibre types within any sample that we bring in or clients bring us in.
Yeah, and this is just a way of testing. We're looking and we're working towards, and we can actually do
yes,
what we say we can do.
It's an external kind of quality control scheme as such. So basically once a quarter, once every 3 months, they send out 4 samples in lovely little foil packaged sample bags.
Sample bags, yeah.
And within those sample bags, it can be anything.
Yeah.
And it could be real samples, so I don't know, it could be a piece of asbestos cement, or they also make up their own samples as well.
More common than not.
More common than not, yeah.
They're really pain in the ass ones, which
they are indeed.
You never see in real life.
No, and it's a funny one. Yeah, you don't see them in real life because they'll get like ice cube trays and they'll pour cement in and then they'll mix in different fibre types. It could be asbestos, it could be non-asbestos fibre type, literally whatever they want, they throw into the sample. Yeah, or a bit of both. And essentially that could be one sample. So when it comes to us, pop it out of the bag in the fume cabinet and you look at the sample and it's a grey block of something that doesn't look like anything that's ever come from site. And then it's our analyst job to basically break it down, break it apart, inspect throughout the entire sample to find anything that is asbestos or not asbestos, and then at the end of it put their balls on the line and say, yes, it's asbestos and these are the fibre types I'm stating it's in it, or no, I've analysed that sample fully and there's no asbestos in there.
And sometimes it can be very, very trace fibres, can't it? And really hard to sort of identify. It's a way of checking. I know it sounds a bit like, oh, why do they do that? But when you're a bulk analyst and you're analysing hundreds of samples a week, you're generally seeing the same sort of samples. So you'll see cement, you'll see texture coating, you see vinyl, etc., etc., etc. And it can come, like, you can look at a sample and you know...
As near as damn
it, what asbestos type is going to be in it.
Yeah.
However, there are rare occasions and there are sort of oddities out there where we get samples come in and it has got rare forms of asbestos fibre in it or very trace amounts of stuff. It's basically to evaluate that standard, really, to make sure you're always expecting the unexpected with asbestos. And this is a good way of keeping the analysts on their toes, keeping their eye in to make sure they are looking for the rarer types in particular, and definitely the trace amount of asbestos fibres in samples.
Yeah, it does. It keeps them on their toes and kind of stops complacency setting in with those samples. And like we say, like they can be I don't know, they can be normal samples, they can be really hard samples, they can be non-asbestos samples.
Yeah.
Quite a good one that they throw in now and again is fire-damaged asbestos.
Yeah.
So like any analyst out there listening will know when you go through the motions, it will only exhibit certain properties. It won't exhibit all of them because it's been damaged by the fire.
Yeah, it's usually hard to get a colour change on those samples.
Exactly, really difficult. But it is still asbestos. It's still an asbestiform fibre, and again, it's proving that the analysts do know what they're doing, and it sets that kind of benchmark. And like I say, there's basically 4 samples once a quarter that are sent out.
All UKAS accredited labs have to,
Yes,
as part of their accreditation, maintain a level of confidence within the AIM samples.
Yeah, and also this kind of complements in-house QC, quality control measures, like once a month, so many samples. Again, the analysts have to do. We've got our own pool of samples. Some are easy, some are hard, some are horrible.
Some are spiked.
Some are spiked, yeah.
So, because a lot of times, texture coating, generally speaking, it's always ever been Cristal that was used in that. Sometimes you get a spiked texture coating sample. It's just to keep people on their toes to make sure that they are actually following the steps properly and to identifying those fibre types correctly.
Yeah, and examining the full sample for what it is, not the presumption of, it's texture coating, right, I'm going to find Cristal.
Yeah, definitely. And the AIMS ones are very hot on that, aren't they? Like, for instance, they'll have a vinyl tile sample, but on one little corner, they'll put some asbestos bitumen just on a little dot on the corner. So if you're not scanning the whole sample, you won't find it. It's just examples of that, isn't it?
There was one that I remember a few years ago. There was a blue carpet tile, and between the carpet tile itself, the blue fibres on top and the actual backing, some lovely person had stuffed a load of chrysidolite blue asbestos in there.
Wow, so blue fibres?
Yeah, blue fibres on a carpet tile that looked like it had just been brought from B&Q that morning.
Yeah, so
on the face
when
of
you're
it,
scanning it from
it's modern.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at us, just it's a new carpet. What's all this about?
Yeah.
That's the sort of tricks they get to, isn't it?
It is.
It's to keep everyone on their toes and make sure that, giving everyone a level of confidence, particularly the individual bulk analysts, the company as a whole, and the industry as a whole, to keep that sort of consistency and make sure that we are doing it correctly.
Just wanted to, explain a little bit about some of the hoops that we have to jump through as part of our kind of accreditation, our procedures.
Yeah, so that definitely keeps our bulk analysts. They love that every quarter, don't they? Coming in, everyone, it's the dreaded AIMS are in.
And it is always the dreaded AIMS.
The dreaded AIMS are in. But
it's all good. They always get them right.
But they're used to it. They're used to it. To even get signed off, they have to, pass AIMS. Mm-hmm. So, you can rest assured that the bulk analysts are...
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
And they're the checks that are in place. It's not like, I don't know, they've been doing the job. Yeah, they're all right. They're being externally qualified and verified for it.
And it's the ongoing thing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's the ongoing. So it's not just you pass one time and you're over the hurdle.
Back in 1974, I passed me thing and I'm all right now. It's like, no. You've got to keep continually proving your worth and proving that you are doing what you should be doing.
Yeah. Because we all know that complacency sets in and, when you're analysing cement sample after cement sample after cement sample, you can't take you can't presume.
No.
You do have to follow that set process every single time to make sure you identify it correctly.
So that's the Asbestos In Material Scheme or AIM scheme. I hope you found that useful. If you've got any other kind of, I don't know, if something comes to you and you think, I wonder how they do that or why they do that or whatever, please contact us through the Facebook group. Just search Asbestos Knowledge Empire. Remember, asbestos first, not last.